rain in St. Louis really over the last couple of years that it seems as though water can get in anyone's basement, and that is the most frightening thing for homeowners sometimes is water in the basement. Well, we have a company in St. Louis that may have the greatest solution ever. This is Waterproof Solutions, and Steve Danford is here. Tell us about your new technology, because this is exciting stuff.
Well, thank you. Basically, what we want to do is we want to bring technology to the homeowner. Too many times, this technology is used in commercial applications or at the tail end of a problem at a person's house.
Yeah.
Kind of want to get in front of that.
That's a good idea. Let's see if we can find the water before it actually floods the basement, right?
There's such a devastating moment. You know, you get water in your basement, you've just spent thousands of dollars down there, and the last thing you want is like, hey, guess what? I'm going to cut your drywall off 4 feet up all the way.
So you brought thermal imaging? Is that what it is? Thermal imaging?
Yeah, and what we're doing is we're finding a signature. Hot or cold.
Okay.
I can find a hot spot in an electrical box. I can find a wet spot in a roof. But what we're using it for is basements.
All right.
It's a new look. What I want to do is I want to be able to look through a wall and find your problem.
Don't you wish you could see through it and see where the problem is?
Absolutely,
well,
because we can't.
Let's do it. Let's figure it out. So bring in our camera and we'll get a pretty good example.
Let's show really how simple it works. We've got our typical sink here, a faucet.
This is a faucet or a water fountain in the hall,
and
right?
obviously now we see no signature because it's not on. But when the cold water comes,
you start to see that there is obviously
gleaming
water
blue
flowing through there.
And that's showing the signature of the temperature difference. Thermal imaging, thermal being the temperature.
All right, so that's what we can see from a water fountain.
Right.
So you're applying that to everyday life in our basements.
Right, because we don't know. Is it leaking through the wall?
Sure.
Is it leaking at the floor and the wall? So what we're able to do is then scan.
Customers can call you, say, hey, I found water. Come see if you can figure out where it's coming in.
Exactly right.
Presto.
And you see the signature showing up.
Wow. And that's just using thermal imaging. The camera is able to see the difference in the temperature.
That's exactly right. And we can put that on a computer to do the layouts of it so that it's analyzed properly, and we can actually show the amount of moisture, if it's below the floor, if it's behind the wall, so that you're not having to do a devastating repair.
Because that's the problem, right? People come in, they've got these great walls, and if they don't do this ahead of time, it's too late, and the only way to get in there is to just...
And it's agonizing. I mean, who wants their
wall.
house tore apart?
Exactly.
And wouldn't it be nice to just have to take out one piece of drywall?
Right.
Scott can come in and do either an epoxy injection, which is typical where you've cleaned the concrete surface, you've injected a urethane, and then an epoxy skin on it, so nothing's allowed into that crack anymore.
Okay.
You get a 20-year warranty to where the house doesn't leak. You can sell the house, warranty goes with it. Now, sometimes the foundations broke a little more than we like. And if that's the case, we are one of very few people that do carbon fiber. You hear a lot about carbon fiber like race car engines and things like that because it's very light, but it's very strong.
Wow.
So instead of having that obtrusive, the Frankenstein look from the injections, you've got a nice clean repair on the crack, carbon fiber laid in with urethane over the, with an epoxy over the top. Then it can be painted and coated, and you have a very, very stronger than the concrete wall, and yet very innovative product.